Hello, dear, and welcome to the Bedtime Discoveries. It's so lovely to have you here. Tonight, let's slow down together. Let the world outside grow quiet, and gently step into a realm where science feels like a bedtime story. Dreams have always been a source of wonder. They can be magical, puzzling, even mysterious. But behind their strangeness lies a fascinating truth. Your brain, even while you sleep, is hard at work, crafting entire worlds, building stories, and stirring emotions, all without you consciously directing them. Tonight, we will explore how your brain creates these dreams, piece by piece, stage by stage, until the mystery feels just a little bit clearer. Before we begin, I'd love to know, where in the world are you listening from, and what time is it right now for you? If you feel comfortable, share your location and time in the comments. I always enjoy reading them. And if this gentle journey into science helps you relax, please like this video and subscribe to the Bedtime Discoveries, so you'll have a new calming story to drift off to whenever you wish. Close your eyes and imagine you are drifting gently into a place that feels both familiar and strange, a place where the boundaries between reality and imagination melt away. This is the mysterious world of dreams. From the moment humans first gaze at the stars, they have wondered about the strange visions that visit them at night. Ancient civilizations saw dreams as messages from gods or glimpses into other realms. Some cultures believed they were journeys of the soul, traveling to hidden lands while the body rested. Others thought dreams carried prophecies, warnings, or blessings. And even now, in the age of brain scans, neuroscience, and modern psychology, dreams still hold secrets we can't fully unlock. You see, when you dream, your mind creates entire landscapes. You can walk down a street you've never seen before, talk to someone who does exist, or suddenly find yourself flying through the clouds. The strange part is, while it's happening, it feels real. The sensations, the sounds, the colors. Your dream self experienced them just as vividly as your waking self might. But here's the beautiful mystery. Why does the brain do this? Why create such elaborate, vivid, and emotional experiences while you're asleep? Scientists have learned much about the mechanics of dreaming, the brain waves, the sleep stages, the chemicals at play. But the meaning, that deeper reason for why dreams exist, remains a topic of wonder and debate. And perhaps that's what makes them so captivating. Every dream is a personal, private theater performance, directed by your mind, starring you, but often written by forces beyond your conscious control. When you close your eyes tonight, your brain will prepare another story, one you haven't read before, one you won't fully understand, but one that might leave you feeling something powerful: joy, fear, nostalgia, or even peace. For now, let's take the first step into this hidden landscape. We'll wander slowly, so as not to wake the fragile, dreamlike feeling that surrounds us. And as we explore, you may find that the world of dreams is even larger than you imagined. Let me share with you a few glimpses into the wonder of dreams. There was once a painter who claimed that his most beautiful artworks came not from hours in the studio, but from moments just before sleep. He would sit in a chair, holding a small metal ball in his hand. Above the floor sat a metal plate. As he began to drift off, his muscles would relax, and the ball would fall, clanging onto the plate and waking him. In those seconds between wakefulness and sleep, his mind would flood with strange and vivid images which he would rush to paint. Then there was a scientist who dreamed of snakes forming a circle, biting their own tails. That image so strange and ancient, became the clue he needed to understand the structure of a molecule. His dream helped shape modern chemistry. Even in your own life, you may have noticed dreams that seem to borrow from your day, yet transform it into something else entirely. A conversation with a friend becomes a journey through a forest. A fleeting worry turns into a chase through dark city streets. A moment of joy becomes a festival in a place that doesn't exist. Dreams are not bound by the rules of the waking world. They blend past, present, and imagined futures into a single stream of experience. Some scientists call this neurocreativity, your brain's ability to weave together fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination into a new story. Others simply call it mystery. The truth is, the edges of sleep hold a kind of magic, that space between knowing you are here and drifting somewhere else. It's where your mind loosens its grip on the everyday and begins to play with reality. Perhaps that's why dreams so often surprise us. We can't order them like meals. We can't choose the plot. We can only witness them and wonder what they're trying to show us. Now, let's blend the wonder of dreams with what science tells us. Your brain is never truly off. Even when your body is deeply asleep, the brain hums with activity. Electrical signals flicker across networks of neurons, some related to memory, some to emotion, some to pure imagination. Modern brain imaging has shown that during dreaming, especially during REM sleep, certain brain regions become more active than when you're awake. The visual areas light up even though your eyes are closed. The emotional centers, like the amygdala, become highly engaged, explaining why dreams often feel so intense. At the same time, the rational, decision-making parts of the brain slow down. That's why strange, impossible events in dreams don't feel strange at all. A talking animal? A city floating in the clouds? In a dream, you simply accept it. And here lies the delicate balance. Dreams are shaped by biology, but they're also shaped by the self, your thoughts, your memories, your feelings. That's why no two people's dreams are the same, and why even your own dreams change over time. Perhaps this mix of the scientific and the mysterious is what makes dreams so enchanting. They are built from the same neural circuits that help you think, feel, and remember, yet they exist in a space where the usual rules no longer apply. And so, as you drift asleep each night, you enter one of the most mysterious realms your brain can create. Not a place you can map or fully control, but a place that waits for you patiently until your waking thoughts fade and the dream world opens once more. When you close your eyes at night and the world around you fades into darkness, it may feel as though your mind is preparing to simply switch off. But the truth is, your brain never really sleeps. Even in your deepest rest, it hums with quiet activity. It whispers to itself. It repairs, it rebalances. It dreams. The sleeping brain is a place of hidden work. Think of it like a grand library, where the lights are dimmed, the doors are closed, yet deep inside, the librarians are busy sorting books, repairing pages, placing memories back in their proper places. During the day, your brain is flooded with information. Every sight you see, every word you hear, every emotion you feel, it all arrives at your mental doorstep, waiting to be processed. But during waking hours, your brain is often too busy handling now to fully take care of what just happened. So at night, when you finally rest, it turns inward. Neurons, those delicate messengers of the mind, begin to fire in patterns that help store memories, smooth emotional edges, and clear away unnecessary clutter. It's a process so vital that even if you try to skip sleep, your brain would eventually insist on it, pulling you into brief, uncontrollable moments of rest. In these quiet hours, your brain also takes care of its own health. Microscopic support cells, called glial cells, begin to flush out waste products, substances that build up from the day's mental activity. This cleansing, sometimes called the brain's night shift, helps keep your mind clear and functioning well. And then there's the dreaming. While much of the brain's nighttime work is silent, the dream world is its most vivid theatrical creation. It's as if the brain, after a day of organizing and cleaning, decides to put on a show. The sleeping brain is not idle. It is a careful gardener, trimming away old connections, watering new ones, and planting seeds that will grow into tomorrow's thoughts. While you sleep, your brain follows patterns. Not random ones, but gentle rhythms, like the tides of the ocean. Scientists have found that these rhythms come in cycles, usually lasting around 90 minutes each. In each cycle, you pass through different stages of sleep, some deep and slow, others light and dream-filled. Imagine the brain as a theater with changing sets. In one act, the lights are dim and the stage is calm. In another, the lights burst into color and the characters come alive. Each stage has a purpose. Each plays its part in restoring your mind and body. Early in the night, your brain spends more time in deep, slow-wave sleep. This is when it focuses on repair, fixing tissues, strengthening the immune system, and consolidating certain memories. Later in the night, it shifts toward lighter, more active stages, including REM sleep, where dreams often flourish. And yet, while these patterns are steady, they are also delicate. Too little sleep or disrupted cycles can leave the brain's work unfinished, like a gardener who didn't have time to tend all the plants, or a librarian who left half the books unsorted. Some researchers believe the sleeping brain uses these patterns to test your mind. It replays fragments of your day. It explores emotions. It creates imagined scenarios, perhaps to prepare you for challenges ahead. In a way, each night is both a rehearsal and a restoration. Your brain is recharging, but it's also training, quietly shaping how you'll think, feel, and react tomorrow. And here's a curious thing. Even when you're not dreaming, your brain is busy creating and dissolving mental connections at a microscopic level. Like waves smoothing the sand, these rhythms help your mind remain balanced, adaptable, and ready for new learning. If you could watch your own brain while you slept, you might be surprised by the bursts of activity. In REM sleep, especially, your brain can be almost as active as it is when you're wide awake. Electrical signals spark through the visual cortex, the emotional centers, the memory networks. It's as though a hidden storyteller has woken up and begun weaving together threads from all corners of your mind. This dream maker doesn't work like a strict editor. It doesn't worry about logic or continuity or whether the events in your dream could really happen. It blends a memory from yesterday with a sound you heard years ago, adds a location you've never visited, and infuses it with emotions pulled from the depths of your subconscious. Some neuroscientists think the storyteller is the brain's way of exploring what if. What if you could fly? What if you met someone from long ago? What if you were faced with something frightening and found yourself able to overcome it? These experiments, played out in the private theater of your mind, may help you process fears, strengthen problem solving, or simply release tension. And yet, not every function of the sleeping brain is understood. There are gaps in our knowledge, places where science can only stand at the edge and guess. Perhaps that's fitting. The sleeping brain is a reminder that even in the most advanced age of discovery, there are mysteries we may never fully solve. And maybe that's part of its magic. Sleep is not a single, unchanging state. It is a journey, a descent through layers of consciousness. each stage carrying you deeper into rest, then lifting you back toward lighter states before the cycle begins again. The first stage is like standing at the shoreline where wakefulness meets sleep. Your eyes grow heavy, your breathing slows, muscles loosen, and the sounds around you begin to blur into the distance. This stage, often called N1 sleep, is light and brief. If someone were to gently call your name, you might open your eyes and believe you hadn't truly been asleep at all. In these moments, you may feel tiny muscle twitches or experience fleeting hypnagogic images, short flashes of light shapes or half-formed scenes. Your brain waves in N1 slow from the active, rapid patterns of waking life to smoother, more relaxed rhythms called theta waves. It's a delicate state, like the moment before a candle goes out when the flame flickers softly. From here you drift deeper. The shoreline fades, and the sea of sleep pulls you inward. You enter N2 sleep. Your heart rate slows a little more, body temperature drops. Your awareness of the outside world fades to almost nothing. If we could see your brain at this stage, we notice brief bursts of activity called sleep spindles. Tiny flashes of rapid brain waves and sharp K complexes, which may help protect your sleep from sudden noises or disturbances. It's as though your brain is gently guarding your rest, keeping you wrapped in quiet safety. This stage is not as light as N1, yet not as deep as what comes next. It's the steady middle ground where much of your nightly sleep time is spent, and soon you feel yourself sinking into something even deeper. Now the ocean of sleep becomes darker, stiller. This is N3 sleep, often called deep sleep or slow wave sleep. In this stage, your brain waves slowed along, rolling patterns called delta waves. Your body is at its most relaxed, breathing steady, muscles loose, heartbeat slow and calm. If someone tried to wake you now, it would take effort. And even if you open your eyes, you might feel heavy, confused, as if you've been pulled from another world. Deep sleep is essential for the body's restoration. It's here that growth hormone is released, helping repair muscles, tissues, and bones. The immune system strengthens, preparing to protect you from illness. It's also thought that in this stage, certain kinds of memories, especially physical skills, are consolidated. If you practice a new movement during the day, your brain quietly reinforces those patterns during deep sleep, helping them become more natural tomorrow. There's something peaceful about N3. It's the stillness after the waves have gone quiet, the place where the outside world no longer matters, and your body can focus entirely on healing. But even here, deep beneath the surface, your journey isn't over. Soon, without realizing it, you begin to rise again toward a stage unlike the others. After deep sleep, you drift upward into a state that feels lighter, but is anything but idle. This is REM sleep, the stage most famous for its vivid dreams. REM stands for rapid eye movement, because in this stage, your eyes flicker quickly beneath closed lids as if following scenes in a dream. Your brain in REM becomes almost as active as it is during the day. The visual and emotional centers awaken, creating rich landscapes and powerful feelings. Your muscles, however, are temporarily paralyzed, a protective measure, so you don't physically act out your dreams. REM is thought to be deeply important for emotional regulation, creativity, and problem solving. It's as though the mind is sorting through your memories, weaving them into patterns, sometimes logical, sometimes wildly imaginative. The sleep cycle flows through these stages: light sleep, deeper sleep, REM, again and again through the night. Each cycle lasts around 90 minutes, and with each one, REM sleep periods grow longer, especially toward morning. This rhythm is the heartbeat of the night. It's the quiet dance your brain performs moving from rest or repair to creativity and back again. When you wake after a night of full cycles, you often feel refreshed. Not because you stayed still for hours, but because your brain and body have been moving, working, and healing in perfect harmony. There is a moment in the night when the brain stirs, not to wake you, but to awaken something inside you. Your closed eyes begin to move quickly beneath the lids. Your breathing becomes shallow, your heart rate rises, and inside your head, whole worlds begin to bloom. This is REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, the stage most famous for dreams. Unlike the slower, quieter stages of sleep, REM is electric. If we looked at your brain waves now, we'd see patterns almost identical to those of someone who's wide awake. But instead of focusing on the outside world, your brain turns inward, crafting landscapes, characters, and stories out of your own memories, emotions, and imagination. It's strange. The body is almost still. Your muscles are softly paralyzed. Yet your mind is racing through vivid experiences. This muscle paralysis is a built-in safety feature, so you don't act out your dreams in the physical world. In REM, your visual cortex lights up, your limbic system, the emotional heart of the brain, becomes highly active, and your frontal lobes, which normally keep logic and reason in check, become quieter. This is why impossible things feel natural in dreams. A talking tree, a friend who suddenly turns into a bird, a city made entirely of glass. In REM, the unusual feels ordinary. And it's not just imagery that becomes powerful. Emotions are amplified too. Joy can feel euphoric. Fear can feel overwhelming. And sometimes dreams can carry a mood so deep it lingers after you wake. While REM sleep is often described as the dream stage, scientists believe its purpose goes far beyond entertainment. One of its key roles seems to be in emotional processing. Throughout the day, your brain collects emotional experiences, the highs, the lows, the subtle in-betweens. In REM, it replays and reworks them, gently taking the sharp edges off painful moments, strengthening the glow of positive ones. It's like an emotional workshop. Your mind tries to integrate what happened and prepare you for what might come next. This stage also plays a role in creativity. When you dream, your brain makes unexpected connections between ideas, weaving together elements that don't normally meet in waking life. That's why artists, writers, and inventors sometimes wake with new solutions, inspired by dream imagery. Even motor skills seem to benefit. If you've been learning a new dance step, practicing a musical instrument, or even improving at a sport, REM sleep helps fine-tune those neural pathways. And then there's memory. REM appears to assist in linking memories together, taking raw facts from the day and embedding them into a network of your knowledge. It doesn't just store them, it integrates them, placing each piece into the larger puzzle of who you are. Some researchers think REM may be a kind of virtual reality simulator, a safe space where your brain can test reactions, explore possibilities, and prepare for challenges. It's training, but without the risk. As the night wears on, each sleep cycle gives you more time in REM. The first REM stage might last just a few minutes, but by the final cycle before waking, you could be dreaming for 40 minutes or more. This is why morning dreams often feel the longest, the most elaborate, the most memorable. In these longer REM phases, the stories your mind creates can feel like epic journeys. You may travel to strange lands, meet people you've never seen, or revisit moments from long ago, reshaped by imagination. Sometimes you may even become aware that you're dreaming, a state known as lucid dreaming. Here, the dreamer can influence the story, fly through the sky, explore oceans, or simply watch the dream unfold with full awareness. And yet, no matter how wild or calm the dream, eventually the cycle comes to an end. Your brain shifts once more, your eyes still, your heartbeat slows, and you move back into lighter stages of sleep. By morning, you may remember fragments of your dreams or nothing at all. But deep inside, the work of REM, the emotional balancing, the creative linking, the quiet rehearsals, remains with you. It's a nightly reminder that the mind's most vivid worlds are built in silence, behind closed eyes, in the private theater of REM sleep. If dreaming is a theater, then the brain is both the stage and the audience. It builds the scenery, writes the script, plays the music, and watches a show all at once. But this theater isn't in just one place. It's spread across many regions, each with a special role in shaping the dream. The visual cortex at the back of your brain acts like the set designer. Even with your eyes closed, it paints landscapes, builds structures, and fills in details. The color of the sky, the curve of a mountain, the flicker of candlelight. In dreams, the visual cortex can be just as active as when you're awake and truly seeing. Then there's the limbic system, the emotional heart of the brain. It includes structures like the amygdala and hippocampus. The amygdala adds emotional color to dreams, making them feel joyful, frightening, nostalgic, or bittersweet. The hippocampus helps bring in fragments of memory, a face from last week, a place you visited years ago, a feeling you once knew. Above your eyes, in the prefrontal cortex, lives the logical storyteller of waking life. But in dreams, this region becomes quieter. It stops questioning the impossible, allowing the dream to flow without interruption. That's why a sudden change in setting or an unusual event feels perfectly normal while you sleep. These regions and many more work in a shifting harmony, like instruments in an orchestra. The music they create is a dream itself, sometimes soft and serene, sometimes strange and wild. Deep inside the brain, the hippocampus acts as a bridge between waking and dreaming. During the day, it records experiences and sends them to long-term storage. At night, it replays fragments of these memories, weaving them into the dream storyline. But it doesn't work alone. The amygdala, its emotional partner, decides which memories carry the strongest feelings. A quiet afternoon may be forgotten, but a moment of excitement, fear, or deep connection might reappear in your dreams, reshaped into something new. Then there's a parietal lobe, a region that helps you sense space and movement. In waking life, it lets you navigate the world. In dreams, it gives you the feeling of walking, flying, or floating, even though your body is lying still in bed. The temporal lobes near your ears hold vast libraries of sound and language. When they join the dream network, you might hear voices, music, or sounds you've never heard before, all created from pieces of memory. It's remarkable. Even in sleep, your brain uses the same pathways that process reality to build an entirely imagined reality. And because the prefrontal cortex is quieter, there is no inner voice saying, "This isn't real." The dream feels real until it isn't. All of these regions, the visual cortex, limbic system, hippocampus, parietal and temporal lobes, need coordination. And here the pons, deep in the brainstem, plays a hidden but crucial role. The pons is like the backstage crew. It helps trigger REM sleep, sends signals that activate the visual and emotional centers, and shuts off muscle movement to keep you safe while dreaming. It also creates bursts of brain activity, sometimes called PGO waves, that ripple through the visual and sensory areas, sparking the vivid imagery of dreams. The thalamus, another key player, acts as a gateway for sensory information. In waking life, It filters signals from the world around you. In dreaming, it still sends information, but now the source is internal, drawn from memory and imagination rather than sight and sound. And so, the dreaming brain is not one part, but many parts, an intricate network where each region takes on a special role, like dancers moving together in perfect time. When you dream tonight, you might remember the scenes, the feelings, the sounds, but beneath it all, these regions will have worked in silent harmony to create your private midnight world. Inside your brain, even as you rest, billions of tiny messengers are at work. These are neurotransmitters, delicate molecules that carry signals from one neuron to another. In waking life, they help you focus, move, feel, and think. But at night, their balance shifts, guiding you through the stages of sleep and opening the door to dreams. Think of your brain as a quiet harbor and neurotransmitters as the changing tides. Some chemicals rise, carrying you toward alertness. Others recede, letting you drift deeper into rest. In the dream-rich REM stage, the balance is unique. Certain neurotransmitters, like acetylcholine, surge, helping activate the visual and emotional centers, even while your body is still. This rise in acetylcholine sparks vivid imagery, bright colors, intricate details. At the same time, levels of serotonin and norepinephrine, which help regulate mood and attention during the day, drop dramatically. This drop quiets the rational, controlling parts of your mind, allowing dreams to unfold freely without strict logic. It's a gentle trade. One set of chemicals quiets, another set awakens, and in that balance, the dream stage is born. Neurochemistry doesn't just paint the dream, it shapes the feelings that fill it. The reduced serotonin and norepinephrine levels in REM create an emotional openness. Without their steadying influence, feelings in dreams can be more intense, joy more euphoric, sadness more tender, fear more consuming. Meanwhile, acetylcholine keeps the sensory parts of the brain highly active, ensuring dreams feel vivid and immersive. It's why you can remember the texture of a stone, the sound of water, or the warmth of sunlight in a dream, even though you're lying still in darkness. Another player, dopamine, quietly influences the strangeness and unpredictability of dreams. Dopamine is linked to reward, curiosity, and imagination, and in REM, its shifting levels may encourage the wild leaps in setting and storyline that make dreams so unpredictable. Scientists believe that this chemical mix also supports memory processing. While the hippocampus replays and reshapes experiences, acetylcholine helps write them into the brain's network. Meanwhile, the lowered serotonin and norepinephrine keep emotional processing raw and vivid, allowing deep feelings to be worked through. In other words, your neurochemistry is not random in sleep. It's a careful, shifting tide, one that balances restoration with creativity, logic with imagination, reality with fantasy. The most remarkable thing about this chemistry is that you never feel it happening. You don't hear the signals firing. You don't sense the molecules moving from neuron to neuron. And yet, without them, dreaming would not be the same. Acetylcholine keeps the dream engine running. Dopamine spices it with novelty and curiosity. The lowered serotonin and norepinephrine soften the edges of reason, letting the story take impossible turns. Add to this the natural waves of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle, and you have a perfect recipe for drifting into a rich, unpredictable dream world each night. Some scientists call this balance a neurochemical fingerprint of REM sleep, a unique signature that only appears when the brain is deep in its most vivid dreaming. Others see it as an ancient survival tool, Perhaps dreams helped early humans process fear, rehearse challenges, and find creative solutions, and the brain's chemistry evolved to support this strange nightly theater. Whatever its origin, this quiet alchemy continues every night of your life. Invisible, silent, but powerful. And when you next find yourself in a dream, flying over mountains, speaking to a long-lost friend, or walking through a place that exists only in your mind, remember, part of that magic began with the tiniest of messengers, flowing in the stillness of the night. Inside your brain lies a vast vault of moments. Some are crystal clear, a birthday candle flickering in the dark, the sound of rain against your window, a voice you once loved. Others are faint, a flash of color from a childhood room, the smell of a book you once read, the curve of a street you walked only once. These moments are stored in a network that spans your brain, with the hippocampus acting as the archivist, carefully placing each memory in its shelf. During the day, you collect new entries for the vault. At night, especially in REM sleep, the archivist becomes a storyteller. Instead of keeping each memory separate, it begins to weave them together. A cafe you visited years ago might appear in your dream, but with different walls, different people, and perhaps a sky that glows an impossible shade of green. That's because the hippocampus isn't just replaying the memory, it's blending it with other pieces from the vault. Dreams rarely serve you exact copies of your past. Instead, they remix, rearrange, and merge them into something new. A conversation from yesterday might take place in your childhood home. A long-lost friend might speak in the voice of someone you met just last week. This mixing is part of why dreams can feel both familiar and utterly strange. If memory is the archivist, imagination is the painter. And in dreams, the painter is free from the rules of the waking world. The brain's visual cortex and association areas, regions that connect different kinds of information, collaborate to build scenes that have never existed before. A city floating on clouds, a staircase that twists into the stars, a river that flows upward. This creative power is amplified by the quieting of the prefrontal cortex, the logical gatekeeper. With its influence reduced, there is nothing to interrupt the painter's brush, nothing to say, that can't happen. So the impossible feels not only possible, but natural. And yet, imagination doesn't work alone. It dips into the vault of memory, borrowing textures, sounds, and faces. That staircase to the stars might have the worn wooden steps of your grandmother's house. The floating city might carry the colors of a sunrise you once saw at the beach. In this way, dreams become a collaboration, memory providing the raw material, imagination reshaping it into something entirely new. Some scientists believe that this blend of memory and imagination has an important purpose. By combining real experiences with invented scenarios, your brain may be testing possibilities, rehearsing future events, solving problems, or exploring emotions in a safe space. If you had an argument during the day, you might dream of resolving it in a completely different setting with unexpected words. If you're facing a challenge, your dream might present you with a symbolic version of it, allowing you to practice without real-world consequences. This process may also be linked to creativity in waking life. By connecting distant ideas, dreams can spark solutions you might never reach in a straight, logical way. It's as if the dream world is a great meeting hall, where memories from every corner of your life come together and imagination walks among them, introducing them to each other. And sometimes this meeting leaves you with a gift, an insight, a feeling, or a story that stays with you when you wake. You may not remember every detail, but the emotional truth often lingers, quietly shaping the way you think and feel. So, tonight, when your mind drifts into that secret hall. Memories will gather like old friends. Imagination will open the windows to impossible skies. And together, they'll weave another dream, just for you. When you dream, the story may shift, the place may change, the people may blur. But one thing always stays, the feeling. Dreams are painted first in emotion, then in images. Your brain's amygdala, the deep-set almond-shaped structure, is a central player here. It's the keeper of emotional memory, the one that stores the echo of a laugh, the sting of loss, the rush of joy. During REM sleep, the amygdala is especially active. This means your dream world is flooded with raw, unfiltered feelings. If you felt anxious during the day, the dream might wrap itself around that tension, translated into a chase through unfamiliar streets. If you've been happy, you might drift into a sunlit garden with laughter rising like birdsong. Sometimes the emotional core is so strong, the entire dream bends to its will. The scene might change from a house to a forest to a train station, but the emotion, fear, excitement, longing, stays constant, binding the fragments into a single thread. In waking life, your rational mind, the prefrontal cortex, often dampens extreme feelings, helping you respond calmly. But in dreams, this gatekeeper is quieter, even resting. Without it, emotions are free to swell, to deepen, to become the main character in your story. This is why a small worry can become a towering fear in a dream. Why a gentle affection can bloom into overwhelming love. Why a single note of music can make you weep with beauty. Dreams also allow for emotional blends we rarely feel while awake. You might feel joy and sorrow at the same time, or experience fear that is thrilling rather than paralyzing. These amplified states can make dreams more memorable. It's not the logic that stays with you in the morning. It's the way it made you feel. You may forget the details of the chase, but you'll remember the pulse in your chest. You may lose the image of the person you spoke with, but the warmth in their voice lingers. Some researchers believe that dreams play a role in emotional housekeeping. By letting feelings rise without the limits of logic, the brain may help you work through them. A painful memory might appear in softened form, letting you revisit it safely. An unresolved fear might come back again and again until, in a dream, you finally face it or transform it. A hope might take shape in glowing, impossible ways, allowing you to feel it fully without the weight of reality. This is why some people find that after a vivid, emotional dream, they wake feeling lighter, calmer, or more certain. The dream may not have solved the problem, but it has moved the emotion through you, like a tide pulling back to sea. And so, in the dream world, emotions are not just passengers. They are the wind in the sails, the current beneath the water, the light that colors every scene. They carry you from place to place, guiding the dream until first touch of morning wakes you. Imagine your dream as a letter written in water. The moment you wake, the words begin to dissolve. One reason for this lies in how the brain stores memories. When you're awake, your hippocampus, the part that helps turn short-term experiences into long-term memories, is fully active. It works like a careful librarian, cataloging events, filing them neatly for later. But during REM sleep, when most vivid dreams occur, the hippocampus is in a quieter state. Your brain is busy with creativity, emotion, and imagery, but not with careful record-keeping. It's as if the librarian has stepped out for a moment and the pages are left scattered, unfiled. This is why, even though your dream felt real in the moment, it often has nowhere to live in your memory bank. By the time you wake, only fragments remain. The moment of waking is delicate, a kind of border crossing between two worlds. In that instant, your brain switches from the dream's internal narrative to the demands of the waking world. A sound in your room, the light coming through your window, the thought of what you need to do today, all of these pull your attention away from the dream, breaking its thread. If you've ever woken slowly, without an alarm, you might notice the dream lingers longer. That's because you're giving yourself more time on that bridge, holding both worlds for a moment before stepping fully into one. But in most mornings, the crossing is abrupt. The dream slips away not because it wasn't important, but because the waking mind simply doesn't hold on. It's tempting to think forgetting dreams is a flaw, but perhaps it serves a purpose. If we remembered every dream in perfect detail, the lines between sleep and reality might blur. Our waking thoughts could be flooded with impossible memories, making it harder to focus on the present. By letting dreams fade, the brain may be protecting the clarity of waking life. It keeps the dream world as a private space, a nightly theater that closes when the sun rises. Still, there are ways to catch the dream before it goes. Keeping a notebook by your bed, speaking the dream aloud the moment you wake. Even lying still with your eyes closed for a few extra seconds can help you bring more of it back across that fragile bridge. And so, we forget our dreams not because they were meaningless, but because their true home is the night, and the night keeps its secrets well. In one view, dreams are the brain's private testing ground, a space where it can rehearse, experiment, and imagine without consequence. You might dream of facing a challenge, an argument, or a danger. In the safety of sleep, your mind can explore how you might react. It's like a flight simulator for life, letting you practice without real-world risk. Some scientists believe this evolved as a survival tool. Ancient humans who could mentally test dangerous situations while sleeping might have been better prepared while awake. And dreams are not limited to threats. They allow creativity to flourish, ideas to emerge in ways that waking logic might never allow. The melody of a song, the solution to a puzzle, the concept for a story, all have emerged from this nighttime laboratory. Dreaming may also be a form of emotional housekeeping. During the day, we gather feelings, joy, sadness, anxiety, excitement. At night, the dreaming brain may sift through them, weaving them into stories to help us process and release. This is why a dream can sometimes feel oddly emotional, even if its events are strange. Your mind is less concerned with the plot and more with the feelings underneath. Some research suggests that REM sleep, the stage richest in dreams, helps soften the sting of painful experiences. It's as if the brain is replaying events in a gentler, safer way, taking away the sharp edges. And of course, dreams may help strengthen memories. By reactivating patterns of brain activity linked to the day's events, they can embed learning more deeply. For all we've learned, the purpose of dreaming is still not fully known. It may be many things at once: a creative engine, a therapy room, a rehearsal stage, a memory workshop. Or perhaps dreams also exist simply because they can, because the brain, even at rest, is an artist, a storyteller, a maker of worlds. Maybe we are not meant to pin down a single answer. Maybe the beauty of dreaming is that it sits between science and magic, a nightly gift half explained, half enchanted. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, know that whatever your dreams bring, a journey, a mystery, a feeling you can't quite name, they are part of your mind's quiet work and its quiet wonder. And so, Our journey through the dreaming brain comes to its gentle end. We've wandered through the hidden corridors of sleep, floated in the calm seas of REM, met the chemistry and the regions of the mind that paint our nightly worlds. And now, we return, carrying with us a little more wonder than before. As you rest your head tonight, let your thoughts drift like clouds. Let the day dissolve, and let the quiet magic of dreaming take over. Good night, my friend. May your sleep be deep, your mind be light, and may your dreams be kind.